Hey everybody, it's Symphony Sims here with another speed build. This build, California Craftsman, was largely inspired by Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. It's an upscale arts and crafts hotel with the architectural style of Northern California. It has a cabiny lodgy feel inside with some foresty things, so I tried to bring that to this build that I'm doing. This house costs 305,728 simoleons and uses dine out, outdoor retreat, spa day, cool kitchen stuff, get together, perfect patio stuff, movie hangout stuff, and kids' room stuff. I don't remember if it uses get to work or not. I don't think so, but I'm not sure, so don't quote me on that. We started off on a smaller lot. I mean, it's not really a small lot, but we end up putting this on a 64 by 64 lot because of the mountain pool lake thing that I end up doing. That specifically is inspired by Grizzly River Run, an attraction in Disney's California Adventure. So this roof that I'm doing right now, I have not tried to build a lot of roofs in The Sims 4 because I don't like building roofs. So this was one of the more challenging ones that I've done. However, it was really not that bad. We ended up having a slight issue in the master bedroom near the end that I couldn't figure out how to fix. But I think that it's not super noticeable and it's manageable. So, I mean, this took quite a long time. I think 5 hours to build. And so I'm splitting this video into 2 videos because otherwise it would be an hour-long video. And I don't really want to put an hour-long video out there right now. So we're trying something with the roof right now, trying to make it kind of match both sides. It wasn't really working, so I tried something else. And I think this is pretty much what we end up keeping. So for a long time, this build was just not looking right. It didn't have the feel that I was going for. It was just looking kind of disastrous. And so it took a while to figure out what it was and how to fix it, but I do think that I eventually got it to look kind of like the Grand Californian or a Craftsman style home. The wallpaper and everything was very difficult. You'll see me struggle with that here soon. I decided to put it on a foundation. It's going to be a stone foundation because of that lodgy cabiny feel. I thought a stone foundation would be best to bring out those accents and stuff. This right now that we're working on is the porch. I was experimenting with different browns and blacks, and I eventually leave it at a black, but it does take me quite a while to get there. We also have 2 chimneys on this house and 2 fireplaces. However, one of the fireplaces does not line up with the chimney, but that's okay. It's The Sims. They don't really care. I try to make these houses very playable that I build because, well, I will actually be playing in this house. And I just don't find it necessary to build an unplayable house. That seems kind of ridiculous. With the beams on a lot of Craftsman style homes, I was trying to experiment with the get together wallpaper and make it look like that, but it just didn't work. I was trying to show those beams, but it wasn't looking right, and so I end up just going with a basic wood. However, it takes me forever to actually figure that out. The outside was very challenging. I mean, the windows were not looking right. The wallpaper was not looking right. The roof wasn't looking right, partly because I was, building it But I forgot to actually look at a picture of the Grand Californian. So I'm like, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. Why does it not look right at all? And so then I actually brought up a picture on my phone and was like, oh, that's what it looks like. It has a green roof. No wonder this doesn't look right at all. Because these browns are just not mixing well together. And these windows are not looking right. And so now I try some brick. Like, oh yeah, brick might work. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. It looks weird. It doesn't look like a Craftsman home or the Grand Californian at all. I was actually lucky enough to be able to stay in the Grand Californian one time when I went to Disneyland. It was amazing, and I wish I could go there again, but it's pretty expensive. So, I mean, I'm hoping I can, but it will probably be quite a while. So there are a few hidden Mickeys around here because of course it's inspired by Disney. So I put some hidden Mickeys around here, which you'll see in the second part because this build was very long. So I am now figuring out that, oh, the roof's supposed to be green. That might look better. It does. In the Grand Californian, there's a very large fireplace. It's kind of the centerpiece. So I wanted to make sure to put a fireplace in this build. I end up putting two in because, well, there's two chimneys and I thought it looked pretty cool with two. They're on opposite sides of the house, but that's okay. From the front, it very much looks homey and like a house. However, from the back, it has more of the hotel vibe that I was kind of going for, but at the same time, I wanted to make sure that it was a home and not a hotel because that would kind of be ridiculous. Down here, I was trying to put more stone accents in. I'm like, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. And so I ended up going with a black stone of some sort. It's pretty basic, so it's not going to draw your eye there, which is good because, I mean, it doesn't look absolutely fantastic. Now I'm trying to put some columns around the door. I get rid of them. They were useless. Trying to figure out now window colors because first I was having trouble with the wallpaper and now I'm having trouble with the windows. I eventually get that feel that I'm going for, but it does take me quite a while. I leave these windows for a while, I think. I put them back. I wasn't a fan of them, so, I mean, I would take them on, put them off. Wait, put them on, take them off. That's what I meant to say. And then there's this little white line in between the roof and the actual room. And I'm like, I have to get rid of this. It's driving me crazy. And so I tried to put the little trim piece on. And that only made it look worse. So I just took it off. Here I am trying to make it look like there's beams again. I really wish that they had something like that I could use. I took the curved windows off, but I do put them back on because I thought it provided a little bit of contrast from the rectangles and squares around the entire rest of the build. But, you know, it takes me a minute to figure that out. What am I doing now? Oh. So the chimneys, I was like, they should be stone chimneys because I need more stone accents. I'm pretty sure that the Grand Californian, with its big fireplace, it has a lot of stone around it, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been quite a few years since I've been there. And now I'm trying to make the chimney actually look like a chimney because the top was looking weird, and so I put a little trim around it. And I think that makes it look more like a chimney. I am still not 100% sure on that, but I like the look of that better than anything else that I was coming up with. And so that's what I went with. In the back, I have this like basement room that I pulled out of, that I removed the ceiling on actually. So what I did was I built a room and then I removed the ceiling of that basement room, and I wanted to make it look more like this house was on a slope. However, you can't do that, but that's what I wanted to make it look like. I wanted that 3-story back. I think it ends up looking really cool. So that's what I did back there. I put rocks around parts of it. I put the greenery stuff around part of it, the wall decoration thing that came with Get Together. And I think that looks pretty good. Here I am trying to figure out this chimney thing because I'm like, it doesn't go. It doesn't go at all. And I'm just like, oh, okay, gotta move it out. That'll look better. So what am I doing now? I'm painting the back of the house. That's what I'm doing. Probably should be putting some new windows on there soon. More foundation. Down here, I'm like, ooh, 3 stories. I also wanted this like stair thing to look cool, and I think I achieved that somewhat with my use of the foundation as actually part of the fence, which was something I hadn't really tried before, but I think it looks pretty cool. So down here in the basement, we have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a hangout living space, and a workout room. One of my Sims that is going to use this house is in the athlete career branch, and so he needed a space to work out and get his fitness skill up and all that. Right now we're just putting the basic fence around. I don't think we try the foundation stone thing for quite some time, but this is what I started with. I'm like, that doesn't look bad. I kind of don't hate that, and so I left it for now. What are we doing now? Oh, we have to make this thing in the back, the completely natural landscape, bigger, because everything that I wanted to fit back there wasn't going to. I end up putting some trees back there and a fire pit and stuff, but you'll see that in the second part. I think right now we are going to try to build this little lake thing. I was inspired by the Sim Supply's rock pool build and also Grizzly River Run, and I'm like, this would be really cool. I might be able to try something like that. And so I used the pool on a foundation, and then I used the pool off of the foundation, and I used fountain things to turn that into like a waterfall thing, and I put rocks all around it. I'm trying to get kind of the shape that I'm going for here. It takes me a while to do this. I mean, it's pretty, there's some rocks. Yep. There's a lot of rock placing in this. I cut some of it out because I didn't think anyone would want to watch me place rocks for like 20 minutes straight. That would just be boring. But, hey, some rocks you can watch me place because they're so exciting. Not really. So I was trying to figure out what size of the fountain thing I wanted. So I tried raising it up so that I could put some fountain on there. And that was just making it look worse. I'm like, oh, the rocks don't work now. I ended up going with the medium-sized spraying one. And I think that ends up fitting as well as it is going to. It took a lot of raising some rocks up to make it not look like a fountain and more look like a waterfall. I was trying to fidget with the stuff. Of course I have move objects on right now because if I didn't, there's no way I would be able to place all these fountains, all these rocks. It just would not work. So I did use that cheat through most of the build because I would forget to turn it off. However, I am pretty sure this house works. I will play test it very soon to make sure it does. And this house will be on the gallery. You can find me and my builds under Symphony Sims. That's my origin ID. And then this build should be up there. So it's pretty cool. You can get it for yourself if you want to. I mean, there's no need to if you don't like it, but that's okay. So what are we doing now? Oh, we're still trying to fidget with the pool, of course, slash fountain, slash lake, pond, whatever you want to call it, waterfall. I don't really know what to call it. It's kind of just a feature, I guess. Your Sims cannot swim in this pool because there's rocks all the way around it. So, I mean, that just would be not super fun for them anyways. Somehow my stairs got deleted, so I had to fix that. Now I think we're gonna attempt to work on the inside. No, we have to finish the outside first. At first I had this door over on this like little wall that was too wide, and I'm like, that will work. I don't really want the door to be super like showy or anything, so I'll just kind of hide it in the corner. However, the inside I ended up trying to build, and it was awful. I hated everything about it, and I almost gave up on this build because it was so bad. And then I realized, oh, it's because you have the door and the kitchen in the wrong spot. And so once I moved the door and the kitchen, it ends up working out very well for me. I pretty much gave up on this house until I realized to do that. But right now we're going to leave the door here until we realize that, oh, that's a terrible decision. Because I was trying to make it so that you could easily access the door, but at the same time, it wasn't like a main feature. Because there was no reason for it to be a main feature or anything. So we're still experimenting with the windows out here. We're also going to try to make the basement rooms here pretty soon, but a lot of windows. I really like natural light, and so I end up putting too many windows on some builds, but I tried to scale it back on this one, so believe it or not, this is actually scaled back for windows for me. I know, crazy, but it is. And those windows are different colors right now. I really hope I change that because that looks kind of ridiculous. I better change that. Anyways, now I think we're going to try to, now we're doing that fence thing with foundation that I was talking about, because the foundation is actually the fence and it makes it look like stone and stuff, and I thought that looked really cool. I'd never tried that before, but I ended up really liking it. In the second part, I think we paint the ground in the basement thing. We paint that green to make it look like grass, because it was looking kind of a little bit weird and not like, it wasn't looking natural, and I was trying to make it look natural. But yeah, it takes a while, but we end up getting there. So just trying to make that 3-story feel here in the back that I was trying to go for. It was a little difficult, but I ended up just putting rocks along that part of the wall because I thought it looked better, and then I was like, this fence looks weird. This fence looks weird like this. This fence looks weird like that. And so, I left it looking kind of weird, but, I didn't really see another option. So, there's that. A door to the outside from the basement, because the basement is kind of a basement, but at the same time, it's not like a normal basement, because I know a lot of basements don't have windows or anything, and it's kind of a space that anyone can go hang out hang out in. There's a TV and stuff and bookshelves. So it's not like a closed off area or anything. Now I'm like, ooh, this is looking good. So, like I said, I was having tons of trouble with the inside. The wall colors were off, the windows were off, the door was off, the kitchen was off. So, I pretty much was like, okay, starting over. I cut that part out because it took forever and it was really, really bad. What I did with these stairs over here was I tried to make them kind of, not a huge feature, but a little bit of a feature with all the columns. You can look right through to the dining room from the kitchen, except for, a couple of the walls, but the family room to the dining room, either way. This kitchen is a little more modern than I would usually do in this style of house, but I was experimenting with the other cabinets and I'm like, no, I don't like that either. And I wish these cabinets, the upper cabinets from Cool Kitchen Stuff, weren't so glassy because I don't really like the glass see-through part of cabinets at all, like in real life or in The Sims. And so I actually used the right end piece and tried to push that and move that around so it made it look like not all the cabinets were glass. And here is one of the fireplaces that we have. This is like the main living room area, and I was having some frustrations with the lighting because the lights in this game come in different colors, like of the actual light shining through, and I'm like, really? Because the lights that I was using were one color, and then the lights that I added in were a different color. Over here is the dining room and the other fireplace. I added a lot of stone accents inside because I wanted to bring the outside in and give it that lodgy cabiny feel. We also end up using a few curtains around. Not a ton of curtains or anything though, because I am not a huge fan of a lot of the curtains. However, some of them I do like sometimes and I use them. In here we end up putting a candle chandelier thing, and that's the different lighting that I was talking about because it comes in a more yellow light color, and the one that I was already had in there was more of a warm blue color, and it just wasn't looking right. So I ended up changing it at the very end. I think that was actually off camera, so you won't see me do that, but that's okay. There's the chandelier, a little lamp in there, give it kind of a warmer feel. And then I used quite a few outdoor retreat stuff, quite a few outdoor retreat things, because bringing the outside in, it also came with a lot of cabiny stuff, and I'm like, oh, I think these would be good for accents. I used that same chandelier over here in the dining room, put a couple little like green plant thingies over here, just to make it a little more lived in, I guess. This over here is like the biggest bathroom I've ever done. I usually build tiny, did I say bedroom? I meant bathroom. Tiniest bathroom I've ever done. Largest bathroom I've ever done. I usually build very tiny bathrooms, like 2x3. And so this one is very big and for me and very different, but I decided to make it very like spa-like and stuff, I guess. I saw this program on HGTV. I don't even remember what it was, but it had the sinks facing each other with a mirror in between, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I should do that on The Sims, which I obviously did, as you can see. Do I put sinks in? Oh, first I have to change the color. Oh, good. I was worried that I forgot to put sinks in, but it looks like I actually remembered. That's good. So this bathroom was kind of spa-like, large. It has a tub and a shower and a closet, which I don't really know why you would want a closet in the bathroom, but that's okay. So now we're working on the downstairs, trying to figure out the layout of that. Because I needed to fit 2 bedrooms, a workout room, 2 bathrooms in here, but I still wanted most of the rooms to have natural light. And I was like, this is not super successful, but it ends up looking pretty good, I think. Now, what are we trying to do here? Oh, this is the bathroom over here. So I saw this on the gallery like probably a year ago or more, that you used like the toilet in one room and the shower in another room and the sink in a room in between. And I really liked that idea. It made it super playable for Sims who like to get embarrassed and stuff. And when they are all trying to use, or when one of them is trying to use the toilet and one of them is trying to use the shower, it was a disaster. And so I saw that idea on the gallery and decided to use it. And so it works pretty well, I think. Now we're trying to put some bookshelves in. So I picture that these Sims that live here probably like to read. And so they have some books, a lot of books actually. But over here, we're experimenting with the doors. I'm like, these doors don't match. I don't like non-matching doors. But I needed a 2 wide door in one spot and a 1 wide door in another spot. And one I wanted glass door and one I didn't. And so it was challenging. All the bathrooms kind of have the same wallpaper, the same cabinets, the same feel, the same floor. I think it's the marble tile or whatever it is from Dine Out. I think it looks nice in there. What are we working on now? This other bathroom over here. So my Sims that live in this house or will live in this house, they have 2 grandparents, 2 parents, and 1 kid. And so this bedroom over on the right, it's for the grandparents. The bedroom over on the left is for the kid. And the master for the parents is upstairs on the 3rd/2nd floor, whatever you want to call it. So I furnished them in the second part, I think, because, this video was so long. So we're putting some couches and stuff in here, trying to come up with the right color. I'm not thrilled with the color of this, but it's the best that I could come up with. And then under the stairs, I didn't like this big empty spot. It was kind of really bothersome. And so I'm like, what can I put under the stairs? So I tried Don't Wake the Llama. That wasn't working. I tried it with only 3 chairs, but I'm like, no, that's kind of ridiculous. You would want all 4 Sims to play it. But that's okay. I tried it, and then I tried moving it over there because I'm like, I don't know. I might want it somewhere. And I end up using the foosball table from Get Together. And I'm like, I don't like the black accents. The gold accents on the black. The gray doesn't look right. I really wanted that dark brown that I've put in other spots, but they just didn't have it. And over here we're putting a coffee table with a stereo on it, because this is the more informal living space. The upstairs is the more formal one with the fireplace. This one is less formal with, a bigger TV, a stereo. There's a microphone over in the corner, I think. And so if your Sims want to build their comedy skill, that's over there. There's also trying to figure out paintings/wall art for this house was difficult because I was definitely going for a certain feel, and that just there wasn't a lot of art that kind of went with that feel. So I ended up trying a lot of different things, going with this green one because I wanted more green accents throughout the house, give it a more natural vibe, I guess. And then I needed a rug under this foosball table because I'm like, it still looks empty. And so I tried tons of different rugs. I tried layering rugs, and it was just not working. I wasn't liking it at all. And then I'm like, don't like this color. and so I tried different colors. I think I end up going with a different rug here pretty soon. Anyways, this is the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think and look forward to part 2.